Oh, privacy, private. How do I unlock this? Here's Here it is. Now, there we go. Okay. Now we might be in business. Sorry about the delay, folks. Wow. I had it on private. Or it put itself on private. So if you can hear me, let me know. Sorry for the delay. Can you hear me now? Probably never know how to go back to that public thing, but I'm here. Okay, we'll give it a little bit more time. See if you can sign in and say something on the chat. Say hi to me. I'm kind of freaking out, man. I've been messing with this thing for 40 minutes. Now I'm late. And I always like to be on time or at least 5-10 minutes early. That's something about beating the market. You want to be one step ahead, right? So let me know if you can hear me. I'd surely appreciate it. Talk about a panic attack. Let's get the show on the road. Okay. You won't let me type? Oh man, what have I done now? It seems like this whole thing has been messed up for me. Viewer activity. Streaming settings. Enable DVR. This really sucks. Viewer activity, current viewers. Live chat, enable live chat. Can you type now? Oh shit. Now what have I done? Welcome to the chat. Remember the guard and privacy. Save our community's guidelines. Oh man, what a screw up. Nobody can chat now, right? Oh, we got something. Chat myth off. So you can type in here now. Good. What a mess up. I don't even know if I'll have this here. Probably once this is live, I don't know if I'll put it back on. So can the other people hear me now? I can read. Okay. What a strange day. We have a blizzard going on here in Missouri. They're expecting about 8 to 10 inches of snow with temperatures down to 20 degrees below. And I don't do well in the cold at all. So let's get this thing going on. Sorry about the delay. I really apologize. Something screwed up in my YouTube. I can type. I can breathe. I can read. Welcome everybody to the room. Happy Valentine's Day to the gentlemen and ladies out there. Please do something nice for your lady. Do something nice for your mother. Whatever. Do something nice for somebody today. Tell somebody you love them. I love everybody. Almost. But wow, what a late start. Sorry about that. I just had a lot of problems here with my YouTube studio, and I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, so I have to kind of ring it. We've been on for a while, and it's a shame that I can't. I'd like to start this all over again. I'm thinking about doing that, but then if I did that, I'd mess it up probably. So, but I want to kind of just go through a little few things that helped me turn my account around. I've had, a couple times you get into a little rut, and it's just not healthy for your mind, and you got to have like the perfect mindset. So there's different steps that a person can take to get them out of that rut. And number one step is to have the right mindset. Have that mindset where you do want to learn. Don't let it bog you down. If I was using a scenario earlier about I was very active in sports. I was a baseball pitcher, and I boxed, and I've always been very competitive in sports. And I kind of take that down to how I trade, because I always want to try to practice and make things better. But you always got to have a little a plan. And there's many steps that a person can take to improve that. And I always say try to come up with a good trading plan. I've got many trading plans. I can listen to the pre-market. I can listen to the bell. And about 15 minutes into the day trading, I know exactly what kind of plan I want to use. I have different kinds of plans. I can play the market in the red. I can play stocks on the dip. I can play breakouts. I can play halts. I try to find momentum, but I got to have a plan. And my plan, and one thing that I haven't done yet is pulled up my my account. So give me a second here to do that. But yeah, you got to have a plan. And where is it? There it is. Give me a second here. I had this all set up, then I rebooted, and now I got to type in my platform. I use 3 different platforms. I always realized when I first started trading that I had one platform and I couldn't play certain tickers. So I had to come up with an idea, and I figured, well, how about trading 2 different accounts? This was back 16 years ago, and I was a penny trader, and I traded a lot of penny stocks. And sometimes on Ameritrade, I wasn't able to pull up I wasn't able to play a certain ticker. So I ended up opening up a Scottrade account. And that enabled me to go back and forth just in case I couldn't play one ticker or another ticker. So that was, part of my beginning plan. It seemed like I was failing with just one platform. So once I got 2 platforms, I was able to go ahead and compensate that. Let me get my platform up now, clean this all out. And I got different kinds of charts, and some people trade off the moving averages. Some people trade with the money flow. Some people just trade off the tape. Some people don't even hardly ever use charts. They just follow the leader, follow somebody else that's a good trader behind them. So having a plan, and I can trade the moving averages. I have these things called case studies, and I study something new every week. And I've done that for almost 15 years. I've always tried to come up with different ideas. A lot of people just stay in one little thing. They just trade off the 20 EMA or SMA, and that's it. And Some trade off patterns. And some trade off candlesticks. I'm a technical trader more than I am a fundamental trader. So I rely on my extended trend lines. And it's something that I come up with that's more accurate and works for me compared to using like Fibonacci's or any other kind of tool out there. And I also use the TTM squeeze. And I'll show you, I have a chart, and I think I have it posted in the video down below. This is my Fibonacci TTM trend chart, and I use this quite a bit. This is probably one of my favorite charts to go to. When I have nice little breakouts, I like to play the pullbacks, and I'm pretty good about calling these pullbacks and looking for trend lines. So that's part of my training plan. So a lot of failed traders don't have a plan. They don't have a trading plan. They just come in here blindly and follow people's trades. It's good to follow people's trades, but you got to come up with your own plan. How am I going to trade this trade? Am I just going to follow this person that I hardly know and take their calls and follow whatever trades they make? I need to have a plan where I want to get in. So that's number one. Have a trading plan, and be in the right mindset is number two, or at least they both coincide with each other. Position size. A lot of people start off with big positions. When I'm in a losing streak, my positions are mostly always small, because I can make 5 or 6 trades a day and make $500 or $600 a day, or $1,000 a day. And then when I have a losing streak, and they usually happen in threes, I like to go ahead and take a small little break and take a great deep breath and start fresh. I still have those losing streaks every once in a while. It's all because I think my mindset. If I'm not in the right mindset and I'm not ready to get in here and kick butt, my trading plan doesn't work very well because I'm confused, I'm mind boggled. So I got to have a clear head. I got to make sure that I'm, get enough sleep. And all I do is think about stocks 24 hours a day. In about another year or two, I'm going to retire. And then I'm going to just take everything that I've made and just run off. That's going to be my next plan. So be in the right mindset, have a nice trading plan, and start with small positions if you're having a bad rut until you start going on to a winning streak. And the market dictates how you trade. The market's different every day. There was one day last week where you could have jumped at anything and traded it, almost anything. And then the next day, you could jump in about anything and about lose every trade. Or you could wake up and you're in a winning stock and all of a sudden some fat cat wants to downgrade it. So number 4 is being in the now, knowing what's going on outside of you, knowing what's going on in the market, knowing what's going on in the news, trying to indicate how that market's going to run, how it feels. Does it feel good? Does it feel like we're going to have a good day today? And I'm going to pull this up over here. So that's number 4, being in the now, knowing what kind of sectors are running. If sectors is the main thing. I've told everybody last year, right before the presidential election, before Biden got elected, I said, and I've been saying it for more than 5 years, that I've been real bullish in the EV car market. I've been playing Tesla for over 10 years, and I scalp it, and I'm at the scalping point now because I think we're up here, we're extended it to a high valuation. So I just day trade it. I scalp it. I have a small position long, and I've had it for a long time, but I'm also scalping at these levels because I'm in the now. Why am I in the now with the EV car market? Because a lot of these other car markets are coming out. General Motors says they want to make their cars all EV cars by 2035. You got China, you got CCIV, you got a bunch of little small companies that are coming out and merging. So this will take some of the market share away from Tesla, and people will move into these smaller trends and try to catch them bottoms. So it's all about being in the now. Same as I think financials are going to be good this year. Being in the now with COVID. last year, COVID plays. If I was a smarter trader last year during the beginning of COVID, when I called the bottom at 18,000, I would have jumped in some stocks and I'd have held them long because they were cheap. And I learned that lesson back during '09, during the crash, the financial housing crisis crash of '08 and '07. And I called that 2 years in advance, only due to politics. Because I just felt like the next politician that was going to come in there was bad mouthing Wall Street. And the market crashed. That was my opinion. You know, I could have been wrong. And then they blamed it on Bush and the housing market, which politicians made a mess out of that too. So being in the now is probably a very good one that a lot of people don't get. They don't pick that sense up. And I think that's probably one of the better senses that I got, especially when the market opens, you know, and I can tell with a SPY, or I can tell what stocks are going to turn around by listening to the scanner and by listening to my surroundings, listening to the news. And I mean, the fat cats have been bearish on the market for years, for about a year. They still can't understand what's going on, and it's pretty simple. It's real simple. What's going on now is we're into a new economy, and this happens every 20, 30 years. And I think the next 10 years is going to be like a gig economy. People are going to be working from home. People are going to be able to travel around the world and work from home, work from hotels. So it's a whole new thing. It's a whole new era. And if I was young, and if I was 20 again, I know exactly what I'd be doing. But now I'm old, and you know, I turned 60 on the 19th, and so I'm looking at being in the retirement soon. But so it's just being in the now, knowing that this economy's changing around, knowing that EV cars are going to be hot, knowing that the pot sector is another one that I called out very strongly last year. I said, you know, we're going to have a good run this year, and it could last for, you know, quite a while, good long time. And the bio sector is a very good one to be watching right now because of COVID. They're going to come up with new answers to diseases. So, and patience. I'd say number 5 is patience. When you're in a rut and you're confused and you want to give up, take a small break. Go over your steps. What am I not doing right? Who am I following? It's not working for me. It's always good to have a mentor. I have many mentors, and I can name them by name. You know, I got mentors in the room that I watch and I admire. Mr. Basscat, Tony, Miss Vegas, some new members that are in the room that I watch. I watch everybody, and I learn from everybody. I learn from the bad. I learn from the good. Hello, Tony. But being in a rut is not a fun place to be. And there's been nights where I said, man, I shiver and shake because, you know, what am I doing? You know, and why am I making these stupid mistakes? And I'm one of the best at cost averaging down on a stock. It's not recommended to a lot of people, but I know a lot of good traders in the room that do it. Mr. Wall Street does it. I do it. I buy on the dips. You know, if I'm in a position small, I'll add on and pull back. And I've done that for many years because I'm in a stock that I trust and I like. And you got to follow them trends. You know, being in the now is following the trend. You know, what's the market saying to me today? And you can usually get that whiff first thing in the morning. And then it just follows through. And if you have a good scanner, it can also tell you what the trend is. That's why I like to have day lows on there. And let's say we're in Netflix, and that sucker had a great day yesterday, and I'm still bullish on the stock, but we're having a red day today. And when that pops up on the scanner, Netflix new low, Netflix new low, Netflix new low, I'm going to be looking for a bottom, and I'm going to be using my extended trend lines to find that bottom. And I usually do that on a 20-day. And I was telling the room that let me type in Netflix here. HIMX is another great example. You know, I've been scalping this thing on the way up. Okay, don't give me any more trouble today. But here's one that had a huge breakout. A huge breakout. I mean, we ran all the way down here from 502 all the way up to 593 in one day within a 24-hour period. You know, and I did a video a couple weeks ago about irrational exuberance. This is irrational, and it pulled back. And these are the kind of ideas that I want to get into people's minds. When you have a stock that run up $100, run up over 20% in a matter of 24 hours, that's irrational. So yes, I called the pullback on it, and it landed right back to my support area. And I was telling the room last week, I said, you know, this is very unusual. Where I'm pulling charts, I'm trying to find supports that go back 20 years, go back 10 years. And I didn't do that until we had the crash back in COVID. I was going back 10 to 15 years to try to find support levels. And then I'm going back 10 to 15 years to try to find resistance levels. That's about part of being in the now and telling you that maybe we're a little irrational and we might be due for a small correction. You know, if we do get it, we haven't had really a major correction until that crash of COVID for almost 15 to some years. And usually a correction will happen every 4. You'll get a correction. Every 4 years you'll get some kind of pullback, usually during election time but there's always, because it kind of keeps the market in sync and balanced and consolidated. But we haven't had a major correction in many years. So that's part about being in the now. So basically, I'm going to run over the few steps that you need to jot down that maybe will help you get out of a rut. And that's come up with a good trading plan. What's not working in my trading plan that I can improve on, that I won't clutter it up. I won't make it, porn, where you have a bunch of stuff on your chart and you can't read it. For example, you know, this is getting pretty clogged up, this chart that I'm showing you right now, and it's about time for me to erase it, all the trend lines, and reevaluate it. So that's going to be probably your first step. Be in the right mindset is another good one. Number 2, come in here with I want to do this, I want to do it right, and I don't want to rush myself, and I want to be patient, and I want to keep it fresh and simple. Position size is number 3. When you start getting into a rut, don't keep adding on and adding on. What you need to do is start off and get some winning streaks going. Start off small, grab you a couple good winning streaks, get about 3 in a row, build your confidence up, and then you can start adding on and making your positions bigger. So that's a good one to go by. And create a good watch list. You know, that's part of having a good trading plan. Have a good watch list. I have hundreds of them, and they're in different sectors. And I create a new watch list every day. And a lot of them repeat tickers I talk about all the time. You know, everybody knows I like to trade Tesla first thing in the morning, because people like to, I'm fighting with the bears on it. They don't understand why Tesla's such a great company for so many years. Well, look what it's done. It's opened up the eyes to a lot of these other car makers. Now they're wanting to get into the EV car business. So, you know, Tesla is the godfather of the EV car, and I'll always love Tesla no matter what. If it pulls back, I'll still be playing it. I'll play them bounces. People tell you not to love a stock. I love Tesla. And that's it. It's the only stock I've ever loved. And I've loved it for 10 years. And I've been bashed. I've been beat up about it. And it's the most talked about stock out there in the market today. And it still will be, and it will always will be until something happens. So patience, and follow good traders. Have good mentors around you. Be around a good team. I can tell you who's pumping a stock. I can tell you if it's a pump just by looking at it within 10 seconds. I usually look at the float. So, you know, I always look at the float of a stock when I'm looking at my steps and my trading plan. Because I got different steps I take. I got to know the float size. I got to know the news, I got to know how the volume is, and I got to know where the money's going. And I usually have been a tape reader most of my life, but I've kind of, here lately, I've been following Mr. Basscat, and I've been following Vegas, and I've been following Tony, and they're into the institutions, they're into the big money. And I usually read it off the tape. That's where I got my information, the time in sales, by the blocks that come into the trade. I could tell if the stock's going up or down. That was where my money index was. But I'm learning more about following them, on learning more about how to follow the big money flow. That's the big institutions. That's the $1 million blocks that are coming into a stock. And I've been a penny trader for almost 13, 14 years. And just the last couple of years, I started trading big caps, big stocks. So that's basically it. I think we can go over a few tickers now. And let me pull up my little website. Hello, Tony. So, anybody have a ticker they want me to go through? I feel good about that. I hope you got something out of today. Just if you're in a rut, just take a step back, take a deep breath, take a break, go out and treat yourself, make yourself feel better, and then come back with a new mindset, with a new trading plan. Be in the now. Correct your position sizes. Don't go in big until you get back on a winning streak. The market will dictate how you trade. That's what I've always said. The market dictates how I trade. When I wake up in the morning and I'm back from work and I'm up all night working, cleaning toilets or brushing off tables, killing COVID, I'm on two different missions. I'm a COVID killer and I'm also a stock killer. And I can scalp a couple trades first pre-market and be done for the rest of the day, and I can leave. I can take that first hour of the day and trade it and be gone. But I stick around and I try to help people, and I'm making trades as I'm going across the day. But that's position size is very important. Create a good watch list, keep it fresh, keep it simple, and keep it clean. And we'll just go on from here and start talking about stocks. Now, first one I want to talk about is two of them, and then we'll go on with you all if you all have a different list. Hope you're doing well. Thought we could thoughts again on CLX, Clorox. Yes. SOS. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and do Fisher. Was it FSR? This had a great run, right? We had a great run on this last Thursday into close. And then she had just ran pre-market and just got the momentum. So this is a momentum speculative trade that I think can go a long ways. And I was kind of biased against it when I saw the first presentation. I didn't appreciate the presentation, but now I've kind of gained some respect for this stock. And I think we're going to probably pull back to this channel right in here for a buy, and that's between 1731 and 1784. Now, you can trade this as a bear or you can trade it as a bull. But with the resistance we got to break is going to be this 1926. By being in the now on this trade, I know it's got some upgrades. I know that Morgan Stanley upgraded it to overweight. I know that it put a target on it for $27. So Morgan Stanley says something, I kind of listen to it in a way because they're a good pumping station when it comes to stocks that they're in. And so we've had the great breakout. We had to break the resistance of 1762 right here, that previous high we did. That's going to be the pivot point in this new channel. Is going to be that 1762. So if I take this trade, I'm going to be going long on this stock. And I think I've already put down my sheet. I had some calls on here that I was going to look at. The $20 call into next month. I was going to go ahead and take that trade maybe if it pulls back to my support level here at 1762 or this 1784. I'll probably jump in the trade and hold it for a month and watch it go up to 27. But that's that. And then I got one more I want to talk about, but I think that'll probably take some of the market share from Tesla, and that's CCIV. This one also had a nice little breakout into close and created a little ascending triangle after hours. That's what you call an ascending triangle. That's a pretty strong flag. You got the pole, then you got the ascending triangle. So the resistance on this we got to break is going to be right around 39.85 with that solid support. Let me put that right in here. 39.93 with that solid support right down here at 35.79. And we're going to take this to the daily 1 minute, have one little look at it. And that first support's going to be right down here, right down at 38.51. The second support's going to be right down here at 37.75. And then that third one's right here at 36.89. But I'm going to lower it down just a little bit to the triple top breakout right there at 36.40. So if it dips down to 36.40, I think we'll hold, and I think that'll be a strong buy on CCIV. Then I'm going to do Tesla. Tesla, I called the bottom on Tesla in the room on Friday. I said this ain't going to go down lower than 797.05. I said that on Thursday. And we kind of hovered. I'll show you on the 5-day chart here. And we almost got down to that support level that I was talking about, that 709. But I had this pretty much, I was scored on it, called the bottom on it down here right around 788 when I saw the candlestick patterns change. And then we went up here to resistance level. See, when you're looking for resistance levels, you want to look at history. You know, we couldn't break it here. We couldn't break it here. We did kind of break it up here, but it was a short-lived, and it pulled back pretty hard. So I think we're going to move on up. I told the bears last week they had their chance to take this trade, and I have a couple of witnesses to that are in the room. The bears did take control of the trade. Well, next week is going to be our day. We're going to get back up here to resistance level of 869. But we got to break. And you know what we got to break on this one here? It's going to be this level right in here. And I'm going to magnify this up. And it's going to be this channel between 826.15 and 827.55. If we can break past that, we'll take it back up to the double top up in here right around the right up here around the 869.79 area. And maybe try to break that 876. But I'm bullish on Tesla. I'm going to have a drink of water. Okay, so the next one we're going to talk about is this one here. It's called EVFM. I'm going to go straight to you. Sorry about the delay today. I don't know, my thingamajigger was all messed up, but I got her straight now. EVFM. For one thing, it was private. Only private people get to watch it. This looks like, to me, we've had these higher lows on these last 2 days. Let's pull up the 1-year chart and have just a look at this stock. And I want to look at the news. Got a nice breakout on this trade here. Ivanov announces collaboration with the community of Phoenix for the option for women cancer and birth control. Drug rebate program. Okay. Kind of want to know what the news is going on in it. The earnings were negative, better than what they were previously. We had a resistance we had to break right here at 365. We got a gap to fill. That goes up to here right around 464. So this is what you call a gap. That's called a gap play. And in between that gap, we're going to look for an equilibrium, for like a pivot point. That's going to be right in here where we had this pullback. And I'm looking at these candles over here that match up. And that's going to be like your resistance to break. Let's pull this up to the 20-day now. I kind of got what I need. Well, no, I don't. I want to look for a support level. Look for a support level off this here high right here. We've got the moving averages crossing up over the 200. That's the EMA on a 20-year. I mean, 1 year daily. Then we're going to go ahead and pull this up to 20-day now. Now, support level right here. You see where we had this ascending triangle? Then we had this pullback to right in here, so we're going to kind of equilibrium that out right there, 348. And then we got your first support. It's going to be right here. It could fall back. You can tell the bulls are on this trade right now. They're definitely on it. And then we've got another little breakout where we got to top up and try to break this 424. And I almost want to pull it to one more time frame and see if I missed anything, which I did right there. So these are my 3 support levels. I don't want it to go any lower than 365. That's going to be my strong buy. My third one's going to be here at 374, 384, and at 392. I'd like to see that 392 hold and then double top at 424 and then bring it up to that resistance levels of 424. And then we'll look at the 20-day, look at the yearly. 424, 441. I'm getting off this candles right in here to get into the gap, and that gap was right here. I can't read it off that sign. So right around 463. And that'd be kind of a hard resistance, and you might see a pullback on it. But for right now, again, that support levels is no lower than 365, with your first 3 supports here at 374, 384, and 392 first. Probably a good entry right there, and to retrace it back up to 424 to break. EVFM. The next one we're going to do is SOS. That's the one that we were talking about a couple weeks ago, and she did have her little run after she had that pullback. I said it was going to pull back a little bit, and it did. And then now look at it. It's fire in the hole. So we got a resistance level to break right here at 770. I want to pull up the yearly chart just to have a look at it. Yearly high. Pull back to the 20-day. And I'm going to look for a place that I think I want to get into this trade. And I would like to see that 646 hold and then break resistance up here at 770. If we can do that, we'll be able to take this up to $8.50 to $10. If not, strong buy down here if it does decide to knife at 518. That'd be a very good entry right there if it does pull back to that area, creating a sideways channel. So a little risky up at here unless you're in the trade. I would almost wait for it to pull back to 646 or maybe somewhere in this equilibrium here at 579 and then a strong buy at 518. I'm starting to like this trade a lot more than I did a couple weeks ago. And that's going to be SOS. The next one we're going to talk about, PLTR. I was going to have a time limit on this today, but with the delay, it got me all clustered. I'm just going to keep going until we run out of tickers. PLTR. Very nice pullback on this stock. Look at here. We got a double bottom right here at $31. I'd like to see that hold. Your first support level was right in here, right at 32, where this pullback was right in here, right there at 32.24. Let's see if anything in the news is causing this downtrend. Roku, blah, blah, options. Yeah, I'm not seeing much in here. Not seeing much. I like to keep it in this channel. So definitely I like to see 31.01 hold as a support level. And then a resistance level to break is going to be right up in here at 34.94. That's going to be like a hard resistance. Why I say that is because of this previous high we had here and these pullbacks right here. Do you know what this is called? This line is called a pivot point. This is what you call a pivot point. It's when you have a stock that pulls back to a support level, and then you have one that tries to break resistance. So that's the pivot point on the 20-day chart. Once we turn around on this stock, I don't see it going any lower than $31. That would be a nice hold. If it does, I mean, if you go down here to right around $27.93, I'd load the boat. And we do have the 5-day rule where we could have a couple more days of pullback and then retrace back up. Anybody knows about my 5-day rule? I talk about it quite a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The reversal began. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The reversal began. So that's my 5-day rule. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's my 5-day rule, and it's pretty explicit. That's part of my trading plan, of being in the now. When I talk about being in a rut, we're on a 5-day run, and you say, "No, Jim, it's pulling back. What should I do?" Well, remember that 5-day rule. I'm 2 days ahead of the fat cats up on Wall Street. Why? Because I want to sell in the heat of the moment. So I got a 5-day rule. They have a 7-day rule. People ask me, "Why are you getting out of the trade?" Well, my 5-day rule is in effect. I'm getting out because I have a trading plan. I stick to my trading plan. I don't deviate from that trading plan because that put me in a rut. I know it works. And this is a great example on PLTR, the 5-day rule. Now, it's accelerated a pretty strong sell-off, and this could go into the 3-day rule effect to where we could start having a turnover. So I want to look for a pattern. I want to look for the tape. I want to look for the volume to watch this trade turn around. And so I'm thinking the resistance that we got to break is going to be this $35. If not, I could probably jump in this trade and swing it overnight to 35 and get out of the trade. But if the momentum is still behind it, I want to try to get up here to a triple top. 1, 2, 3. Now, what do we do on a triple top? We usually take profit. What do I do on a double top? I usually take profit. Double top. I did this with CCIV. Remember when I called the double top out and it dripped? It dropped? But yeah, double tops, triple tops. Well, here's a double top. See, we had a pullback. Part of the trading plan. Part of not getting stuck in a trade. We had that pullback, and then she just didn't want to break that double top. That's an exit strategy that I like. A double top is a bearish pattern. A triple top is a bearish pattern. Head and shoulders is a bearish pattern. You could get a reversal. Inverse head and shoulders is a bullish pattern. Here's an inverse where stock starts to reverse. You got a neckline. The neckline is right up in here. So yeah, I think we're ready for a reversal on a double bottom. Inverse double bottom. 1, 2. Smack up on down and get up here to that 38.88. PLTR, I like it for a reversal play as of Tuesday. So the next one we're going to talk about, you're willing to stop these charts at any time, copy and paste them, do what you need to do to write these numbers down. Don't go off my numbers. I want you to have your own trading plan, and I want you to be able to realize how I am calling these out. Don't follow someone's trade. Follow their trade, but do it on your own will. A lot of people follow people's trades just by, I'm jumping in it because they jumped in it. Have a plan. And I've Basket's said it many times, so have I. Have an entry and have an idea where you want to get out of the trade. So before you get into any trade, know where your exit is. Yeah, I call them out all the time. I say, I'm going to get out, I'm out. And people go, "Oh, why is he out? He's getting out too early." Well, I'm going to buy the dip. I'm going to find, I've got an exit plan. I know I hit my resistance. I know it's going to pull back, and then I'm going to get back in the trade where the same person is still in the stock, hoping it would run up, and it pulls back on them, and they're still in that same position. I took profit. I'm buying the dip. That's just the way I do things. and it works for me. It's part of my trading plan. It keeps me out of ruts. You know, I'm taking profit, and I've got small positions, and I got large positions that are in my private account that I keep quiet. And I don't hold that many tickers. You know, I'm not a guy that can handle 20 tickers at a time. I can barely handle 3 without going hysteric and my blood pressure running up to the moon. Because, you know, I want to get out of these engulfing candles. I mean, like a day like this, a PLTR, I would have sold that trade. There would have been no, I would have not held it the next day. And look what happened. I got out of this trade at 43.49. And if I wanted to get back in the trade that pre-market, but look, I mean, that sucker ran right back up pre-market, and then she went ahead and pulled on back again. It would have been worthless to hold that trade overnight. Maybe I could have bought it in here on the dip, maybe the stock as it pulled back after hours. And it's the same thing. What goes up comes back down. What goes up comes back down. So I'm positioned where I'm going to take my money on them breakouts, and I'm out. I'm going to wait for that pullback. 10% of the time, they might keep running up. Most of the time, they pull back. So the next one we're going to talk about, remember, I think support levels down here at 31 for a triple bottom, and then try to get up here to a triple top. If it doesn't break, I'm out of the trade. Resistance level to break is going to be that 35. PLTR. Oh man, you got a whole line full of them 10 speed. You ride a bike? I got a 7-speed Bianca. It's got the hub in the wheel. The gears are inside the wheel well of the hub, not on the outside. It's a pretty expensive bike. Brand new, I think it runs about 12 grand. I mean, 2 grand. So let me see here. AMD. Chip makers. Here we are, another huge pullback on the 5-day rule. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and she went ahead and bounced on up. Then she kind of consolidated, and then we have another 5-day rule right here. I think she's setting up for maybe to break this resistance level at 95.28. If not, it can pull back to the previous support level here at 91.87. I'd like to see that hold. If not, we've got a strong buy down here at 89.44, which is the pre-high that we had 2 weeks ago. Nice little run for 2 weeks. This would have been a nice little 2-week hold, you know. But we're getting up here to resistance levels. This is where I want to be in the now. I want to be real serious. If we can't break 95.28, I'm out of the trade, and I'll wait for a pullback to support level at 91.82. Or maybe down here at this other level at 89 somewhere. And I'm going to step back for a second. I got someone in the restroom that wants to talk to me real fast. Grab you a cup of water. Sorry about the delay today. And we're going to talk about some more tickers. And I've got NTRR after AMD. All right, we're back Back in the saddle again. So we're going to go to NTRR. I don't know how my switches got changed on the YouTube, where I had to mess with it all day. This is one that I haven't charted in a while. Let's go to the yearly. Ooh. So you know where I'm going to draw my first support line on this stock? It's going to be this previous high on these candlesticks. You know, if you've been a member and followed my channel here, our channel, you know how I chart these off. The body of the candles, and I use the wick as a confirmation. The wicks kind of tell me what direction the stock's going to go, but the body of the candle is the most important thing in my opinion. I'm going over here to this candle right here. Then I'm going to stop here at the day close. Then I'm going to go up here to the day high. And I'm going to run them on up. This is a penny stock. NTRR. Let's go back. Let's just take a little test here. Go back 3 years. Let's do something else. Let's go back 10 years. See, I went back 10 years to try to find resistance level on this chart. One right here, I mean, 1270, okay? Let's get a little crazy on this. Then we've got, see, we're just way up here too high. This thing's really, really in trouble, right? This is a sector that I might want to be watching too. Because I heard today that a lot of small caps have just been, you know, could be the next, and noticed it all last year and this year so far. So yeah, we're just going to blow that off. I'll go back to this 3 year, see if I can find, so I still have to kind of go in here and look for some resistance levels. I'm going to go off this green candle right here. 6 cents. That's a pretty good strong target to go by. So jot down 0.0688 for resistance. We've got a descending pattern. We have lower highs, and then we've got this support level right down here. So I'm thinking maybe it can pull back to this area right in here at 6.9 and then start to retrace up, because I'm looking at an equilibrium between the high here and the low right in here, which tells me through previous experience of charting, I've charted up more than 1 million charts, and I said that last year, so it had to have been a lot more since. I'm thinking right here at 7 cents is going to be your support level. Right here at 7, that's got to hold. If that can hold, that'll be great, and you can run it back up to resistance levels of 8.4, 9.3, 0.001, and then a top of 0.0125. Lab expansion, boost house testing capabilities, neutrals. Let's get some news. Texas hemp cultivation. So this is a marijuana play. That's another reason to be bullish on this trade, because I'm in the now. Part about getting out of a rut. CBD, you know, have anybody ever had that CBD coffee from Willie Nelson? I have. It's pretty good stuff. Actually, you can get high on it. I felt like I was in a way. 0.0125 is going to be the hard resistance to break. 7 cents. I want to see that 7 cents hold. I might jump in this trade myself and hold it long. I think this one can definitely double and get up to that 6 cents and have you a nice little 5x here on NTRR. The next one we're going to talk about, I'm going to skip. I'm not going to give you but two. LUCRF. LUCRF. You're only supposed to have one ticker. And then once we go through everybody, I can go ahead and add you on to another one. End of year results released on Monday. COE Thomas results calling third quarter revenue 41 million. Third quarter loss per share just a penny. Strong third quarter, they say. Lucent had a loss of 13.9 million. To me, when I see loss, that ain't good. Groundbreaking Supply announces delivery, strong operation performance, and groundbreaking supply. Now, another thing that I like to do, and you've seen me do it, for anybody that's a beginner, have a FinViz on your trading plan. It's a good little tool to use. And I'll type in that ticker. What was that again? LUCRF. And nothing comes up on it. LUCRF, so that's not good. Lucent Diamond. See if there's anything else in here. Lucent Diamond Mining Company engages in acquisition and exploration, so they're into diamond. This is in Africa. Diamonds is woman's best friend. Let's see what kind of website they have. They have a nice website. They have a real nice website. Yeah, this in here could bring my interest for sure. Strong balance sheet. $8 million cash on hand. March 31, 2020. Unclear diamond support. Okay, yeah. So I'm bearish. I mean, I'm bullish. It's had a nice little breakout here recently. So support level on this stock is going to be right here at 64.89. 68.55. And then your bottom first support is going to be here at 71.58. Resistance to break. It doesn't like it has some pretty good sell-offs. That's a nice little run it's had too, from 40 cents all the way up. So we're up almost 100%. Next resistance. Now you see I pulled up a 3-year chart to look for the next resistance levels, and we're getting up here to where we got to break this resistance level of this bottom part of this channel right here, and we did it at 76.18, which we bring it up back up to this top of this resistance level of 87.77. And I want to show you something here. You see this area right in here on the 3-year at $1. So that dollar matches up with the 200 EMA on the 3-year chart. So that's going to be a hard resistance to break. Support level, as I said before, is going to be this line right here. We'll color that in red so I can remember it. That's that previous high we had right in here at 68.50. Resistance to break, the next one's going to be 87, 88, all the way up to $1. And if you can catch momentum and bring it on up, it's a diamond company. I don't think it's going to have a lot of volume, but in today's market, this sucker can fly. And I've seen a lot of these penny stocks just take off for no apparent reason at all. No news, no nothing. The retail trader has got the fat cats under siege. You remember what happened a couple weeks ago with GMC and AMC or whatever that ticker was, and BlackBerry and NOK I mean, it set an alarm with these fat cats, and that's all we heard about was the retail trader and Robinhood. I'm telling you, the next 10 years, we're going to be twice, and a lot of these retail traders are going to be fat cats. I know so many millionaires that were made last year that I have not seen in the 15 years that I've been trading. I've not been around anybody that said I'm a millionaire in 1 year. I've seen guys make 9, 10, 15 million dollars last year. I've not seen that in the history that I've been trading. And I think that's going to keep up. I think this pattern's going to keep up. This gig economy. It's going to allow a lot of these penny stocks and a lot of these small caps to bounce real hard. So you got to be in the now and got to have a different perspective on stocks themselves. You know, I'm feeling more at ease by calling tickers out and saying, hey, this ain't going to run. And it's just the way it is. 87 up to $1. If we can break that hard resistance, we got another one right here past about 105, and then that's going to be the money maker. If I can get past 105, you could probably take this up to about 130. And that's going to be LUCRF. I'm probably 60% bullish on the trade. I'd rather play the 65-cent support and take it up. So that's that one. TEL, is that a real ticker, or are you just trying to tell me something? TELL. I really appreciate this, man. I was really confused about getting this on today. I hate disappointing people. It's in my stream. It's in my blood. And I get offended very easily. Usually, it's just the way I am, you know. I'm a sentimental kind of guy. Especially on Valentine's Day. I wish I had me one. I'd treat her so well. So I'm drawing resistance levels where I'm seeing some resistance. This is on the 3-year chart on TEL. I went straight to 3 years again. See, I couldn't find nothing in a year, so I got to go back 3 years. You see what I'm saying? I could erase all this crap up here. I probably should have when I started. But let's go ahead and look at the 1 year now. This is William TEL. Telluran and Company. Let's see what they got in the news. Telluran stock price raised $2.50 from $1 at so they got an upgrade from $1 to $2.50. And now we're at what? $3.77. Wolf Research stock performed to outperformed, announced price target of $5. Top upgrades, so it's been upgraded to $5. We've got this got to do with oil. This makes me want to look at the stock. I want to look at the float. At 182 million float right here. Short float's 19%. Pretty good gains for the year, for the quarter, and for the half a year. It's oil. It's in the oil industry. So you can pull the website and everything up on here. So this is, yeah. And I think we're going to be bullish on oil because there's going to be a war on oil. As you can see, we've already had the Keystone Pipeline get screwed over, which would have benefited Canada pretty much. So let's go back to the chart. Where's my TEL? I think we can go ahead and this is an ascending. This is an ascending triangle. We'll double top for the last month, which is bullish. And the resistance to break is going to be right here at 399. Let's go to the 20-day. Then we got a hard resistance up here at 425. So support level. Now, if I was looking at Friday, you kind of think it's going to pull back. But if you look at a long term, we've had higher lows, and it's bounced off this 20. I mean, this 200 EMA. Bounced off once here, bounced off once here. This is part of my trading plan. See, I got different ways to trade the market. I got so many different charts, and I got so many different ideas. But when I look at this, we bounced off this 200 twice right here within a 20-day period, almost 3 times. So this stock could pull back and hit this low area, hit this 200. This is a 200 EMA on a 20-day, 1-hour chart. And every chart, every time frame changes on these moving averages. So you got to rely just on a few of them. And as part of my training plan is using a yearly, daily, a 20-day, 1 hour, and a daily 1 minute. And I love using this 200 on a daily 1 minute on a breakout stock. And maybe we'll see something like that. But if I took this trade and it bounced on back and hit that 200 on a double bottom, bam, I'd be in a trade. Double bottom on the 200, bam, I'd be in the trade. So if this stock pulls back and hits the double bottom, I'd probably go ahead and grab a position because I know I'm bullish on the oil sector. I'm being in the now. It's part about being out of the rut. You don't want to get into a rut. You got to refocus. So I'm going to try to find a support level in here. It's kind of hard. We'll just go off this one right here. See where that lines up. See, that's a nice little breakout right there. There's your 5-day rule. 3-day rule. So yeah, I think she'll pull back to this 200 again, right here at this level, right around 340, and then take the trade and try to break resistance level here at 412 to 425. And if she catches momentum on the double top, if not, take your money and run. That's going to be tell. Next one, west northwest. Stella was yelling out west northwest last week. And people were going, what is she saying? She's saying west northwest, my man. Go west where the gold is. Go and find the Lewis Clark Trail. So we got pullback support right here at 26.15. I think she might be going south. Oh, God. I still got it. So I'm going to draw a resistance line up here. A little pivot point right in here in the channel. And then a small support. I think this can pull back to this previous top at 26.24 and then retrace back up and go north. Instead of west northwest, she'll be going north up to around 29.63 to 32 bucks. And if that breaks, take her to 34 and unless there's some real good news coming out on it. Being in the now, part of the trading plan. Got to know what the news is, and that tells me what direction the stock's going. Okay, they got China, Shanghai, China play here. And China, being in the now, I'm going to be bullish on China. Why? Because we have an appeasement of president, and he'll be appeasing China. He's already been paid by China. So he's bound determined to have to do them right. And I'm thinking that this stock can go ahead and continue on running. It might pull back to this 26.24 area and then break resistance right around 33.94, and that's WNW. So I'd be kind of bullish on the trade, definitely. I'd like to get in it at a lower support. That's at between 24.61 and 26.24. With a resistance to break of 29.63, 32, and at 34. That's going to be northwest, northwest, WNW. So we got that one out of the way. I did PLTR already. Did tell. And Michael and I had a conversation today about FSR, and we talked about that. We had a good debate about it about a month ago, and he held strong in his leaps, and he was talking. He's up pretty good on them stocks now. So he's kind of convinced me to be bullish on FSR also. Okay, the next one we're going to talk about is IO, the Wizard of Oz. IO. It's off to work we go. So we've got a pullback here at 376. I've got a 2000. I got the beginning of last year resistance level, 2020 at 399. We broke that, and we're sitting up here with nice ascending triangle. So I think this thing can go ahead and break on out higher. Definitely. Why ain't that? Nothing wants to work for me today. Nothing. We got a strong buy down here at 376. Got that first support level here, channel, between 399 and 409. If it does pull back, with a strong buy down here at 376. Resistance to break at 450. Long to 534. Let's pull up the yearly chart. 3-year. We've got a lot of room to run on this stock. You see right here where that 534 is? I'm going to draw a line right there on this bottom candle right here on this body. You see how accurate I was. Yeah, I could have probably snugged it up a little bit tighter. Let's remove drawing, and bam, right there. At 501. So that's got to be, we got to break at 501 to 534. And maybe run this even up to 596, $6. $20-day. Okay. Strong buy at 376. That first support channel is between 4 and 409. Resistance to break at 450, 501, 534. And then go on to your 3-year chart. IO. Next one is JMIA. JMIA is a bullish stock that called out at way down at the bottom. Vegas and I really like this stock. She thinks it'll go to 100 long term. I have a tendency of agreeing with her. What we're going to do, should I clean this off or should I keep it? I have a hard resistance to break here at 63.54 from a previous chart. So let's go ahead and erase it. I'm going to draw this line in here because I don't want to forget that. And we got a support level right here. See, I was talking about keeping it fresh and keeping it simple when you're in a rut. And you got a chart that's cluttered up like that. Clean it up. Start fresh. Keep it simple. And you'll be a lot better trader. It depends on how you chart. I chart through my extended trend lines because I find them to be the most accurate. A lot of people don't understand how I do it, but it's took over 1 million charts to figure it out. And then we've got a resistance right up here. I'm just working off the 20-day 1 hour. Because that's the channel we're in. I like the fact that we've kept these higher highs, higher lows, and then we pulled back to this support level. This is a pivot point on the 20-day chart. They're at 61 bucks. That's got to hold. Now, this stock has had the 3-day sell-off. We had a 3-day sell-off and she bounced. We had a 3-day sell-off and she bounced. I'm seeing patterns. I'm recognizing trends. I want to get out of that rut. So I got to dig deeper. And this is a trade that I have not screwed up on once. I usually get out on the spikes because it has a history of pulling back. When it has a good spike, it pulls back. It just has a history of pulling back. See, you could have been in this trade all week before you had that breakout. I scalped this 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 times in that week period. I've doubled, tripled, 5x my money as the same person that held the stock and waited for the big run. You know, I get labeled as a scalper, but I'm not. I'm actually just buying, selling at resistance and buying at support. Selling at resistance and buying at support. Sell at resistance and buy down here. How many times did we hit down here? There's 4 trades right there you could have took. And sell at resistance. I've took that trade probably 10 times where the same person only took it once and held on to it, or they kept buying in on the dips and adding on to their portfolio. It's held up this 200 pretty well, I think, on the 20-day. So this is my equilibrium. This is my hard support level. This is my pivot point. Why? Because we tried to break it, and then when we pulled back, she held up. So that's a pivot point in the channel. That's your first support, second, third, and then strong buy. If it does decide to pull back to 54, I'm in the money. So I'm going to set an alert. I'm going to set an alert. Right? I want to get in this area. I want to get in this area. So I'm going to set an alert. I should set it right here at 59. But I'm going to go down one more. I'm going to go to the equilibrium of this channel. Set an alert. Now when that alert's triggered, I'm in the trade. Or I'll watch it. But that would be a very strong buy at 56.83. So that's my third support. Second one's 59, 15. The first one's at 61. Resistance to break is going to be the 66.80 to a double top at 68.78. What do I do with a double top? I take profit. Because I know if it does break it, it'll pull back and I can get back in at the double top or maybe at a lower support level. JMIA. Bullish on it. Play the dip. A clearer explanation of a pivot point. That's right, Tony. You've got to find them pivot points. And when I chart out a chart, that's one of the first things I look for. Because I know it's strong if you're in resistance levels. And I know it's strong if you're in support levels. Is the screen blurry to you at all? It is to me. But I've had, I've had blizzard crap all day today. So let me see. I know JMIA. We've got CBAT. Hey Jim, if you have time. I sure do, Dylan. I'm a dingbat, but I'll do CBAT. You notice I'm looking at a lot of these 20 days. Have you noticed that? 70% of the time I go back 20 days. You know why? 20-day moving average. Usually finds an equilibrium in that 20 days. Now, here's the pivot point. Do you see the pivot point on this chart? It's right here, the green line that I put on the 20-day. Because we had a resistance, then we kind of found an equilibrium, then we found support 4 different times right here. So that's your pivot point at 728. That's what you want to see hold. If not, now you know the next second support's going to be right down here. And right here. I got 3 different years of trend lines. Well, I started out with purple, so this is 2021. And I charted this when we had this big breakout up here at 1039. I want to know, pops in my mind, why did we have this run back here on this date? I want to see if it run up on news, or what happened? What happened in this period back on 122 somewhere? So 125, 122. Seabank Energy partners with, they had a partnership. That's why the stock ran like it did. That's the news. It's a battery swapping project. So let's do one more thing. I might like CBAT. I remember CBAT was CBAT was going to do business with somebody. Who was that? Anybody tell me? They're partners with JAC Motors. There was some other company too. Nile? Yeah, it was Nile. It was Nile. That's a good catalyst for the stock. Now that makes me a little bit more bullish on the trade, because Nile's got a real cool deal going on with their batteries. They have what you call a swap program, where you can swap out the battery and be out in and out within 10 minutes or something like that. So let's get serious. Low support down here at 655. Your second one at 678, with that first one right down here that needs to hold, which is the 703. And then you got the pivot point at 723. Resistance to break. I think you can run this back up to 849, maybe around 882. I'm using the body of the candle, and I'm going to be paying attention to my 5-day rule. And I know I'm bullish on this stock, and I know we've had a decent pullback, and I know she's consolidated. So this one I do like. I'd rather buy down here on the dip, maybe at that third support at 678, and that's where I'm going to set my alert. I'm not in a hurry to get into a trade. Usually when I'm a little bit patient, a lot of times they pull back and I can buy it at a better price. So I got my alert set for 679 for a strong buy, and then resistance to break is going to be right up here, right around 795, up here to 849 with a long of around 888. CBAT. I should have been writing these tickers down. Okay. Next is TRCH pot stock. I'm also in CGC and Sundial. I think Sundial might have been a mistake because of Kramer's mouth. Jim Kramer. But a lot of people won't know that, but I know it, because I'm in the now. I don't want to be in a rut. So, I'm going to go back on TRCH. I'm bullish on this trade. We've had a nice little breakout. You see when we had the breakout here, she probably pulled back 50% retracement. Then she had another nice breakout. I'm going to think support level is going to be right in here. I'm going to change this yellow line. Well, 293. Between 293 and 297 is going to be your first support. Your second one's going to be here at 272. And then right down in here, the equilibrium of this channel here at 239 with a strong buy at 215. Very strong. Resistance to break. This has definitely got some momentum behind it. Resources over 60% from the pace it closes high. They closed the public. They closed an offering. That's another bullish. 27 million, so they got money now. And that was at 120 a share. And we definitely doubled that. I got to put this number right down here, 226. So it's kind of hard to read here. I mean, it's had a nice little breakout. It's going to pull back. Maybe if this can hold this 297 area, that'll be your first support, your second at 272, and then maybe your third one right down here, right around the 259. Those are going to be your three support levels, and resistance to break at 356 to 382. I think this can double this year. TRCH, they do more than just grow marijuana. I've been watching this stock when it was down at 54 cents. Long time ago. So she's had her nice little breakout, and now that marijuana is definitely in the bullish pattern, we did have a sell-off Friday. You know, Tilray pulled back pretty good, so it might be one to watch too. So yeah, strong buy down here right around the 257, 272, and then the $3 area for your first support. Resistance to break is 382 with a $5 target on it. TRCH. I wish I was writing these down. I'll just go through the TRCH. CBAT, TRCH, AYRO. Let me see here. Well, we got a lot of people in here. TRC AYRO. I don't remember if I've done that one. Oh no, I haven't done it yet. This here had a nice little bull run. Pulled back. I mean, this really had a beautiful run. I really liked the news on this stock, but I didn't like this part here. Announces a $41 million registered direct offering priced at the market under NASDAQ rules of $9.50 a share. So to me, that's not good. Arrows to sell 41 million shares at a discount. I'd like to buy discounts. That could be good news. So yeah, they have a price offering. Strong support right down here at 902. If she does pull back and double bottom here, that's where I'd take the trade. 902, and then maybe run it up to resistance level between the $10 and $10.20 area, and if that can break, we can double top and break this 1148. AYRO, I think this will pull back and kind of consolidate to the right, and then eventually in about a week or two, this thing could probably, on some more news, we could probably see this go to 20 bucks. AYRO I'm bullish on. I'd rather buy it at the dip, get in it right around 902 for a strong buy, and then maybe scalp it up to about 10.20, and if that didn't break, and create a little channel here, or she'll continue to run them on up to around 1148. The only deterrent I have is the offering, but if the company wants to sell them at a discount, I'm okay with that. So that's going to be AYRO. Disney, yes. Bullish on Disney. I got a target for Disney. They're really hyping this stock up. I think this stock long will be at 225, 223 area this year, especially when the park's starting to open back up. So I'm bullish on Disney 100%. Now, how do I want to play Disney? I want to play it off support level. We have one right here. We have one right here, and then I might have to go make me a cup of coffee. That delay really screwed up being in the now for me. I've got a big target on this stock. You see, you've been in a 5-day channel. 5-day channel. So that support level should hold at 186.23. Anything below that's a strong buy, especially if I'm bullish on the stock. 181, 184 with a support that I'd like to see hold at 186.23, breaking resistance at 191, taking it to 196 for a hard resistance. If you can break past that and you're long in the trade, if you got a leap on it, I think this stock can go definitely to 225, 223, 220 to be safe and conservative. That's Disney. The next one, Limerick, hello. You liked the video? Good. I'm sorry that we had the delay in it today. X has had a pullback, I think, and X run up on rumor of what? Infrastructure bill that never happens. Shovel-ready projects that never happen. We need a new grid. I'd rather see them, instead of working on potholes, be working on a new grid. We've been talking about it for years, and it's not happened yet. And if all this electronics, all the EV cars that are going to come out, we're going to have some kind of grid, new grid. But and let the states fill their potholes, except for the federal highways. Let the states come up with the money. Let them start to budget their money correctly. So X is a steel company. I'm bullish on steel. I cannot see it going any lower than 1582 for a support level. I really cannot see that, but there's a problem, and that there is a war on steel. Joe Biden again cut off the Keystone Pipeline, which was manufacturing a lot of steel for the pipeline. So that was a big hit once he signed that into play for the steel industry. And you've seen it's done nothing but sell off. So being in the now, don't get caught up in the hype. I know that the Keystone Pipeline was a big deal for the steel companies. Unless you hear of something else, I would still be a little bearish on the stock, but we've consolidated here in the last 2 weeks at a bottom, and that support level is right down here at 16.14. If we can hold that, we're going to be safe. If not, we'll pull up the year's chart. This has had a wonderful run, just an immaculate run from low down here at 454. I can't remember, a buddy of mine in the room called this stock down here right around 650, and it's ran nothing up but up to that 24 high. So we've got a double bottom. See that right here? Maybe we did find support level at 614, and we can retrace it back up to resistance level of right around 1753, and then maybe if she gets under 20, that'll be a gift. For right now, I'm bearish on steel just for the purpose of the Biden deal and his war on the steel companies. Don't let him tell you any different. He lied during his campaign, and he's lying to you now. So the next one we're going to talk about, like I said, I like to see the support level at 614 hold with a resistance of $20, with an equilibrium in here right around the 1757, which is the pivot point in the channel. SNDL, I'm in that trade. The only thing that got me bearish on it a little bit was Kramer's mouth when he opened up about the now what happened here? Oh, okay, I was going to say I didn't think we were that high. I got in this trade at 202, and I got an option in it. So I have a position, and I also have the option. And let's pull up the 20-day. I'd like to see this curl back up. I'll probably get out of the trade. I don't know if I want to hold it long. I like to let the air settle. I like to let the air settle. So real strong buy down here. I mean, I don't want to. I hate to see it go to 128. I don't think it can. I think this 173 can hold. And then that first support's going to be here at 194. And then resistance to break is going to be right here at 240. Actually, we're going to kind of say 218. Right there, 222. I'm counting that off this here area right in here. And I'm watching all these candlesticks line up. So support level, I'd like to see hold at 173, 194. Resistance to break at 122, 222, 240 to 275. And then maybe as a gift, get it 311. But I'll probably get out of the trade once I see a spike on it. TTM trend is moving up, which is another good little sign here. But this is only on a daily. That don't tell me much. The strong buy at 128. And that third support's going to be right down here, there, at 149. So if it does knife, third support 149, 173, and 194, with a resistance to break at 222, 240, and 275, long to 311. That's SNDL. The next one, that's all right, Limerick, I got you in there with that X. Fubo. Snow coming down in Memphis. I lived in West Memphis for 2 years. I used to work at the what was that, R&W Gallery. And I used to go there to the Southland and gamble every Friday night and trade the dogs and the horses. I really loved Memphis. And I lived in West Memphis, and you know how West Memphis is. I walked into a bar one time in West Memphis, and it was an all-black bar, and the only white guy in there. The whole bar just went silent. And they looked at me and they said, they gave me that look where I said, oh shit, what have I got myself into here? And at the time I had a harmonica in my pocket. So I pulled out that harmonica and I started playing it at the bar. And all of a sudden you started hearing the pool tables running again, and the people were starting to chatter, and people were coming up to me buying me drinks and saying, hey, can I use your harmonica? Can I play it? And I walked out of there with my skin still on my back. But it was definitely a frightful time in my life. I didn't know what I was walking into. West Memphis is not probably one of the toughest towns in the country. But I loved living there. So what we're going to look at next is Fubo. Back then I was traveling, playing in a band. I called this out. I wanted to hit this green line, and we did not get down there to 42.39. Now, Fubo is not very profitable yet, but they are definitely something to look into that I think is undervalued. They're giving a lot of hype on Disney right now and Netflix, and that's took a little bit of the market share and the bullishness out of Fubo. We'd have had lower highs, but we've kind of consolidated here at right around the 46 area with a low support here at 43.79. So we didn't get down here to my 42.39 as I wanted. I had an alert set on this thing, and it just didn't get to do it. I still think we can, because we're still producing lower highs. See, boom, boom, boom. And maybe one more little pullback and then bounce on up and try to find resistance. So Fubo, I just got to kind of watch next week. I really don't have a gun instinct on it right now because my mind's been looking at EV cars in the pot sector, and then watching, and I'm definitely bullish on Disney. Same as Apple. People are going to, a lot of bears on Apple, but I'm bullish on Apple too. So we're going to keep this 42.39 for a support level. I like to see that hold. Your first one's going to be right down here, right around between 43.79 and 44.46, with a resistance to break right up in here, right around the 48.60. If we can break past 48.60, it's either you take your profit there or you watch it, and then we can ride it up to the triple top up here right around 52.77. But don't think it's going to go to the moon. But I do think we're going to start seeing some movement on this stock next week. And it's going to break out of this channel. We do have a strong support, like I said, here at 43.79. With that 42.39 a strong buy. I'm raising up the bar on Fubo. Hard resistance to break, 52.77. Message retracted. What'd you do? Say something bad? We did CBAT. Oh, the COE bought into CBAT. Okay. I think X is going to explode closer to the summer. Okay, we'll keep an eye on it. Can you chart CLSN next, please, with a support, resistance, and maybe a price target? I will, Romeo. How art thou? CLSN. I'm letting this extend longer. I've only wanted to do this for an hour, but I got so clustered there for that first 40 minutes. I got to get this out of my system. These are 2019 trend lines. These go back all the way to 2018. Or maybe even farther back than that. So I'm going to erase, I'm going to go, first I'm going to pull up a 3-year chart. Yeah, this goes back to 2017, I think, these gold ones. I've used them over and over again, I've used them. I'm going to draw a little resistance line here if the highs that we had on the 3-year. And then I'm just going to try to draw some trend lines in here. I'll pull this up to the 1 year now. 1 year's a lot more easier to read, ain't it? See this candlestick right here and how it lines up with this one right here? We'll take the reference off this candlestick right over here. I want to check something out. I'm going to check the float size. Okay. Float is 37 million. I've had some pretty nice gains on this stock. It's in the biotech industry. Liver cancer, ovarian cancer. That's important stuff right there. Definitely is important stuff. We got support level right in here. Let me just go to the 20-day. And I'm going to find a support level right here. Not a bad looking chart. Not a bad looking chart at all. Actually, you know, this is flagging out. for another breakout. I think we can break past 266 and then run it up to 270, 280, 302 to 329 with a hard resistance to break up here right around the 358 to along a 387. So off the 200, if she does pull back to this 200 on the 20-day 1 hour, that's your 200 EMA. That'll be a strong support. Or you'll be able to hold this 294 to 217. And then if it can hold this 241, we'll break resistance right here at 266. Long, hard resistance at 329. And then if it definitely picks up mustard, I think we're going to turn around and move up on this stock though. Any kind of pullback will be a strong buy. Hard resistance at 386. That's going to be CLSN. Thanks for pointing that out. I'm going to be watching that one. CLSN come Tuesday. WWR, you want to go to war? So we got that. We got JJ. He wants to look at HYLN. Now, I hope you guys don't mind. After this one, I'm going to make me a cup of coffee, because I'm going to extend this out for the ones that want to stick around. We're talking about getting out of a rut, so you got to get that momentum going. Get excited. If you're having a bad day with the old lady, or if the old man's getting under your skin, kick him out. Tell him you want to be left alone and relax so you can do your stock trading. I know it's Valentine's Day, and I know we get tired of each other, but today is a time to tell them how much you love them. No matter what you've been through, ups and downs, it's a time to unite and express the letter love. So HYLN, you don't want to trade when you're in a bad mood or you're confused. You make bad decisions. I make a lot of my worst trades is when I'm forced to make a trade. Nobody forces nobody, but when you're in my position and you're trying to tell people to take trades, sometimes you make mistakes, and so I try to cut that back. I try to only look at trades that I like, that I know I would take. And most of my calls are trades that I would get in. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And then you can't get in them all. And I can only handle like 3 trades a day. So, 3 different companies. Because I know my limits. And that's about part of getting out of a rut. You got to know your limits. And a lot of times when you're down and you want to do it, and you know you can do it, there's only a couple things that are in your way, and it's your mind. And one thing I learned about boxing is mind over matter. And I was able to get the punch in before they got the punch to me because, and be dominant. So mind over matter. It really means a lot when you sit down here behind the desk and you're looking at all these monitors and trying to pick stocks. And if you're in a rut, take a few days off. Don't trade for a couple of days. Just paper trade. And then when you get a couple paper trades right, then do some real trading. Unless you see something that really intrigues you. So HYLN. Helion doesn't fear disruption. Good. I'm glad for that, Barons. Disney, Fisher, Aurora, Helion are all moving. Here's why. I wonder why. I want to know why. Okay. Shares of Helion Corp spiked over $20 yesterday because CEO Thomas Haley tweeted news of the next gen battery launch. Now, this is part of the EV car sector, and I'm telling you, the battery and the technology will get nothing. That's what AYRO did so well, because the battery and the technology is just going to get better and better and better and better. And you know what I've noticed? I watch a lot of sailing movies. I mean, YouTube channels. I got a lot of friends that sail across the world, and all of them are setting themselves up with these new batteries, these new lithium or whatever you call them batteries. And the life for them has changed from having to go to the island to pick up ice to having ice on the boat at all times. So it's remarkable what solar panels and these batteries can do when you're just surviving on your own. Even off-grid homes, these batteries are just a big killer thing about the new technology that's coming out, and they're going to get nothing but better and better and better as we go. Elon's talking about a battery-packed aeroplane. Elon's talking about a car that can fly. They'll pick up and fly like the Jetsons. So yeah, batteries is a big thing right now. And I've charted this baby up pretty much. Now I've got some 2020 trend. No, I got yellow. Yeah, I charted this out this year. These red lines are resistance levels. Let's pull back the 20-day. So I'm very bullish on battery packs. Anything to do with energy and new energy. And that's one catalyst that Biden will push the market in. Because I hear the same stories every time, you know, when a new president comes in, especially if he's a Democrat, how all of a sudden they just are at war with oil, and then they're bullish on the green energy. The market changes in moods. So I got a strong buy down here at 1806. I got the resistance level to break here at 1953, and then long at 2076. If that can break the double top, we'll take it to 2192. I don't want to see it going lower than this $18.06 level. If it does, we definitely can pull back into this other channel. And I'm always looking for channels when I'm charting, because, you know, channels tells me a lot. And when I see a channel that's going sideways, I think the Darvis Vox is kind of like this. You're looking for breakouts and pullbacks. You can see them from the lower highs or the higher lows. So yeah, when I see a consolidation period like this, it's a pretty solid support area. But for right now, we're going to keep it at 1806. Keep in mind, we could see 1769 and 17 bucks with a resistance to break at 1953 and then long 2076. Bullish on HYLN on any pullback. Now, I'm going to step back just for a second and go make me a cup of coffee. And it won't take probably a minute to get it in there, and then I'll come back, and when I hear it done, I'll go pick it up. But my throat needs something. You know, I think most of the time when I'm in a rut, it's because I jump the gun too fast. I don't do all my homework. I don't do my I got a 5-step rule in my trading plan. And if I don't hit all the criterias, or at least 4 of them, I'm usually in a bad trade. So keep that in mind have you a good trading plan when you're in a rut. You know, chart patterns, candlestick patterns, being in the now, having a good watch list, and just being in the right mindset. And then my trading plan is a little bit more technical, but those are the basics that get me to where I'm at least keeping it simple and fresh. And I always like to keep it simple. So HYLN, I'm bullish on. I think we can reverse back up. I think this thing can go a lot higher eventually. We've got to break that resistance of 2076. And then next one, if the retailers get back into this sundial, it can go to $3. I hope so, Limerick. Great learning here. Thank you, Tony. Smash that like button. That's right. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Hit that like button. Ring that bell for future updates. Vegas is going to start doing some videos, and I'm going to keep doing them, and we're going to be doing them together. And so it's good to know when them videos are going to come up or when you're alerted to them, and you do that by ringing that bell. It would be really, really well appreciated. WWR is next. I made a big old batch of chili yesterday because of this freaking blizzard. Oh, since I've been here, we got about an inch. Looks like an inch and a half, maybe. They're calling for 8. With minus 20-degree weather. WWR, Jimmy likes. Jimmy likes how this pops up on the scanner. This had a nice little run to 1145, pulled back to support level. See, when you're looking at these 20-day charts, let's see if we got any news. Or news, press release, begins definite feasibility study on the CASA project. Definite agreement on the CUSA announces conference call. Uranium. What? I don't know. Wastewater Resources sell North American uranium business to Ecor Energy Corporation. Wastewater produced sale of North American business for $1.8 million. They didn't get much money out of it. Okay, I got my kind of feel on the news. We did pull back to a support level that was a previous high here at right around 895, and we closed at 892. We bounced off that 200 on the 20-day. Let's pull up the 1-year chart. Just see what. Let's pull up the 3-year. Oh yeah, this sucker can get up here to right around $32 if it wanted to. Let's go to the 1-year. Let's see how I pull that 1-year up. We've got 1247 resistance level. People ask me, how do you find those resistance levels? I'm not looking at the wicks. I'm looking at the body of the candles. The wicks is a gift in my book. But then if we do break the bodies of the candle here at 1061, I could draw me another trend line here at the wick. This one right in here. That's an equilibrium to these two. And then your strong support no lower than this down here, this bottom down here at $7. If she does decide to knife down. You see where we had this breakout here and then she couldn't hold up here. And then I got to go ahead and draw another trend line right here because why? Because that wick is like a second confrontation, or a confirmation. So let's pull up the 20-day now. I just draw these in. I don't get a real big picture on it but I do get kind of a small picture of where I think it can go to at 1247, and this resistance here at 1067, 1061, with a pullback support right in here. And I'm going to draw this in a red line. Why? I'll show you. Because it was a resistance level at one time. Now it will become support. And I heard one guy, I don't hear too many people talk about this, but today I was watching the video, and I really liked this guy. Well, he sounded like a robot, but he said exactly what I've been saying for many years. And that is, when you find a pivot point, and you find supports, and you find resistance levels, let's say you're down here at the support level. Let's call this support for right now. This will become a resistance level if this was the pivot point. And it could pull back. Then they become supports. Once you break that pivot point and you hit up here to the resistance levels, each one of these resistance levels becomes support levels. And it's basically how it runs. I mean, you could be running up here and you could break all the way up here to 1247. Well, then these resistance levels change and they become support levels. And that's how you got to look at that. That's how you got to take the big picture. We got a hard resistance to break, which was right here at the double top, 1 and 2. So I want to turn this into a red line. I want to know when I want to get into the trade, because I want to get out of this rut. I don't want to take any more guesses. I want to know when I want to get into the trade, and I want to know when I want to get out of the trade. And that's basically, some of your best traders already know that before they even enter any trade. They don't need to ask, hey, what's the next resistance level? Because you know already where you want to get out of a trade. You're going into a trade blindly if you don't pay attention to that. So after I get done with this chart, I'm going to go grab my coffee. I'm addicted to this stuff, and now I'm drinking decaffeinated. So we got a strong support down here at 816, and we're going to have a resistance to break right here at 942, right here on the bottom of these two candles. So that's going to be my second resistance level. And I'm going to turn that into a red line. And then anything above that's going to be a gift. But if I can break this 1061, I think we can run it up to the 1121, 1173, and then a double top at 1247. If not, she'll pull back to the support level, which I earlier called a pivot point, and that's going to be right here at 816. And that's what I got to see hold to bring it back up to resistance at 942. Does that confuse you any? I hope not. I'm bullish, semi-bullish on the stock. I'm not 100% bullish. I think we can pull back one more day or two and then get in at 816 and try to break 942 to 1061 WWR. If we try to break it. So that WWR. Southland has been totally refurbished. West Memphis is still rough and tough. Yep. And I've been there. I used to... West Memphis, when I moved back to Missouri, it was my vacation. I would go up there and I'd stay at their hotel across from Southland Racetrack, and I'd spend 3 days with my dog. And I made this trip for 20 years. I lived in West Memphis in 1989. And then I went to college after that and bought me an art gallery. I was a picture framer for 18 years. So, yeah. I'd move back to West Memphis. I kind of liked it. AREC. I lived in Knoxville too, Tennessee. That's where I saw Bob Marley. Got to meet him. AREC, American Resources Corporation. I always looked at the news. You see, it's part of my 5-step program. I don't get into a stock. I never, unless it's really nuts and I can, find the support level and scalp it for a good, fast, buck. But I always like to go to the news. I'm going to go grab my coffee here. Rare earth element. Yeah, this is going to be something for the batteries. So this kind of goes with the EV sector, AREC. I want to check out the news here. Got my coffee cup, and I love drinking out of these big mouth coffee cups. As my nose gets in there and smells that aroma, it just makes the coffee taste a lot better. And it ain't nothing for me to spend. Used to spend $50 a pound on a cup of coffee. On a bag of coffee. That Jamaica Blue Mountain's the best coffee in the world. Gauges and engineer, manufacturer, design, develop, provide, highs and lows. I feel a sneeze coming on. Told you. Okay, American Resources says blank check company affiliate files to raise $100 million. SPAC. American Corporation announces filing of a SPAC registration statement. American Resources Company yesterday announced it acquired exclusive rights to Purdue University's rare earth elements innovation. Okay. Shares rise 45% on new technology license. So it's got all kinds of good news behind it. And you can tell by the way the gaps on the stock have run. So we're going to go back in time. Look at that. Look at that. What we're going to do is we're going to clean this up. It's a little too clustered right now. Keep it simple. When you're in a rut, go back to the original drawing plan, keeping it simple and fresh, clean. Figure out what's making your mistakes. You know in your gut what's causing you to have bad trades. You know, and you just don't want to admit to it. Am I jumping too fast? Am I not doing my homework? Am I just going off somebody's call because I know they're good traders? None of us hit them 100% right. Now, I had a couple people follow me in a couple trades I've been trading for years, and I screwed up on them. One was Tesla, and I forgot what the other one was. But so none of us are 100% right. None of us. And if anybody tells you they are, bullshit. So I'm going to try to find places in here. I'm going back in this area in here. I'm not looking at any of this. For right now, I'm just going off this 3-year. And I'm just trying to find places that line up, that are consistent with history. See this here? See this spot right in here? This candle? You see that candle right there? Watch. Watch what happens. The body of that candle. History repeats itself constantly. I can use these same trend lines that I'm drawing right now. I could probably use them 2 years out. I could probably use them 3 years out. I could probably use them next year. I could probably use them next week. I'm using them this week. But they're all new. And they're probably the same trend lines that I had on there in the first place, but it just got too clustered. And I want to keep it simple and fresh. I don't want to get in that rut where I make bad decisions. And then we got we got to figure out somewhere in here where I think the low support could be. And that's right there. And with a strong buy down here. Now, this is not going to make me take the trade, anything in here, but I want to see if I can find an equilibrium or if I could find a pivot point. And I'm thinking that pivot point is going to be right in here at 598 on the 3-year chart. For some reason, I want to turn this red. Your gut will keep you out of a rut. I just made that up. Now I'm going to a 20-day. Let's go to the 1 year. I haven't looked at the 1 year yet. Is this high right in here? That could be adjusted. We've got a huge gap here, so that becomes a solid support at 598. Anything below that means we could drop down to a lot lower price, right around $5, 510, somewhere in here. So we would like to see it hold this 598 area and break resistance of 745. I'm going to put an extra trend line in there. And then your solid strong buy down here is going to be this 469. So I'm going to turn that into a red line. This had pretty decent news, right? That's what I was saying. So, I mean, this thing's really had some good news because these big gap ups. So this thing could pull back to 598, or does it need a rest? Is it overextended? And I talked about this in a few videos a few Saturdays ago. How do you know when a stock is overextended? You know how you know? You look at the volume bars as one good example. This thing's hardly had any volume. Hardly had any volume. All of a sudden it comes up and it has a big spike because of news. So it's like a drag car. When you get on the gas and you're bellowing out a bunch of smoke and you get the quarter mile, all of a sudden that smoke deteriorates. It's gone. And I think that's what we're going to see here. I think we're going to see a nice little pullback on the stock, even though it's had good news, and then we can retrace back up because that volume bar is telling me that when it leaves a cloud of smoke, or it leaves a bunch of smoke, it doesn't have a trail. I mean, all of a sudden the volume just kind of falls back. We do have a little bit of diversion right here to where we could start to see a squeeze. And we could see a good little sell-off, or we could see a nice little breakout. And we have had a nice little 5-day pullback, 3-day pullback, 4-day, or whatever you want to call it. So I'm throwing all this in my mind, and I'm thinking, it keeps telling me that it's overextended. The stock's overextended because, it. So AREC, I don't want to see it go any lower than this 469. Your first support's going to be right here at 598, $6. If that holds, we can retrace back up to resistance at 746. And then we got that first resistance here at 661. The second one's going to be right here at 712. Then that third one at 746 with a strong buy at 496. Your third support 509, 565 with a 598 to hold. AREC. Yeah, we got WWR already on the list. You can probably scroll back a few minutes and pick up WWR. So let me see. We got AREC. We're going to close her down here pretty soon. Appreciate everybody showing up. I really enjoy this. It helps me prepare for next week. Sorry I had to do it on a Valentine's Day. I would have probably waited until tomorrow, but then people are working and stuff, so. Tiger, we're going to look at HIPH. Hit that like button if you haven't hit it already. This will be recorded. You can go back in to watch the video later on. And my apologies again for my OBS messing up on me, or YouTube. This has had a pretty good little spike here for penny stock, HIPH. So I got to more or less think, has this got anything to do with marijuana? Nope. Yep. Nano-infused products. Announced a strategic investment agreement with Singapore Development. Let me see here. Aerosol sanitizer machine. No, I don't. Walmart. What's this? Premium water cooler. HIP, new water. 100 milligram. Yep, does have to do with marijuana. When I see CBD. Issued by Goldman Small Cap Research. So Goldman's watching it. Closes distribution rights. 100 milligram CBD shots for U.S. CBD Expo in Las Vegas. Water in dinner during Super Bowl. Plant and body essentials. I got some CBD stuff you put on your back. Resulted in over $833,000 in revenue. So they yeah. This is running along with the cannabis run. Nice little pullback to 2. Let's go to the 20-day. There's a little channel right in here. I'm going to go ahead and call it down here and right here with a previous high, with a double top, triple top. Nice little breakout right there. Just under 2 cents. That's where I'd put my little support level on it for a buy. Like I said, I traded pennies for a long time, and I know how these stocks are. Now this is a real strong support level here at 0.169. Jot that down on paper. That's going to be a strong buy. Your third support is going to be right in here, right around 2 cents. 231, and then right here at 253 with a resistance to break at 332 to double top of 37. And let's pull up the 3-year. See if there's anything on here that, see, 3-year chart. This is when we had that big run on the pot sector when Canada legalized marijuana. You remember that run lasted for about, what, 3 or 4 months? It was all said and done and everything sold off. I went all the way down to a penny here. So if the momentum picks up, we can take this back up here to that 200 on the 3-year. That's going to be right around 7.75 cents for a hard resistance. Now we have had highs up here at 13.02 back during that run, and I think we're off to the same race. I think what we're going to do is we're going to pull back to that. What did I say? Keep this in mind at 7.75. I think we'll get there. With a strong buy down here at 169. That's where I'd load the boat. 2 cents. 2.3, and then that first support at 2.5 with a strong resistance at 7.75. And I think we can probably get higher than that this year. The market, the way it's running, I think people And the more retail traders, the retail traders have doubled or maybe tripled, especially with COVID. I mean, the rumor, it's kind of like a Tesla car. The best salesman for a Tesla car is the owner of a Tesla. And I think the best salesman for the market right now is the retail trader telling their friends, man, I made $5,000 yesterday. I made $800 in a matter of minutes yesterday. And other people get intrigued by that. So I think the same thing's going to happen with this pot sector. A lot of these young kids and even us older adults that thought this would never happen, we thought we'd never see the day where, we'd be dealing marijuana on Wall Street instead of out in the streets. The legal way. So HIPH. I like it. I like it a lot if it pulls back, and I like it a lot more if it breaks 775. SOS, did I not do that one yet? I think I did. I did TRCH. And CCIV, did I do that one? I think I did. CCIV, I got a strong buy here at 33.46. I've got the first support right down here that needs to hold at 36.32. And then I've got the resistance to break up here at 39.93. Now I've got a target on this thing to $40, $250 long. $50 long this year, easily. I'm bullish on this trade. Any pullback is a buy. And this level right in here at 36.42, that's where you want to load up the boat if you're not in the trade yet. I think we're going to see this thing run next week. CCIV. I'm bullish on this stock. And I think that's about it. We'll do this last one, DLOC, and we're going to call it quits. And I'm going to get me something to eat, play and make me an angel out in the snow. Now, I hope this helped you out. Just remember, when you're in a rut, don't get too far down on yourself, but a very good thing to do is slow down on your position sizes. Don't make the mistake and keep trading when you're in a rut. Take a couple days off without trading and just watch the market. Make a few paper trades, because when you're in it, usually my rut will last no longer than 3 trades. When I'm in a rut, and it's usually because of my mindset, because I know, my gut tells me a lot about trading. DOOC. But we all get in a rut. There's a pivot point on the 20-day right here, where we had the highs and then we had the pullbacks. So that's your pivot point. I want to read the news. Recent Verizon Crown Castle agreement. It's a digital. And I'll also be watching these 5G stocks. I'm going to add this to my 5G list. I'll be watching 5G next week. I'm going to try to find support right here. Oh, what's this? Announces a 1 for 25 stock split on 2/18. 2020. Oh, that's back in 20. Okay. Don't be stupid. Make sure you read the news correctly, too. Sometimes you have to double read. I got one rule, another rule that I want to mention. And I learned this in the picture framing industry. It's called measure twice, cut once. So when you're getting ready to get into a trade, make sure you got all your marbles laid down right. Measure twice and then cut once. I can't tell you how many times I wanted to buy something and I sold it. I can't tell you how many times where I wanted to sell something and I bought it. And so measure twice, cut once. No one in this room can tell me that they've not made that mistake. If you do, I'm going to call you perfect. I did it with Tesla a couple months ago. I bought Tesla and I was up like 250, 300 bucks on it. And I said, I'm going to take my profit. I'm going to take my profit. And then I went ahead and bought another contract. I said, oh shit. Lucky for me, it bounced up another $45 on my profit. And I got out. I mean, I sold it with 3 seconds. Once I got in it, I got right back out. But I wasted a day trade on that stock. It was a swing trade. And I mean, you know, instead of taking my profit, I bought another contract. So we got a low support down here on DLOC. I kind of like, let's see here, location to benefit FSC rules, 5G. This is 5G, okay? So I'm bullish on 5G this year. Strong buy at 4.8. First support right here at 5.88. Actually, let's go down one more notch. Right in here. Because I see this right here. Then I see this and I see that. So that's going to be like our second support. And then our third one's going to be right down here at 285. And then the resistance to break is going to be this 768. I'm going to mark that in a red line. It says that's the way I draw my extended trend line pattern. I know if they're either a support or a resistance level. So first support, I like to see it hold right here at 4.8. And if she bounces up off this 200, I'll be happy with that. With a resistance to break at 768, taking it up to about 1088. And if she decides to break, we can get to 12 and maybe get this thing to 20 cents. And that's going to be DLOC. COMS is another one to look at for 5G. Thank you. I'll add it to my list. My Valentine is stocks too. That's the only thing I love right now. It's the only thing I have in my life. I can't go out and have fun, play music like I used to because of COVID. Then we got this blizzard coming here in Missouri. It sucks. I can't stand the cold. I'm kind of clenching my body right now because wind chill out there is negative 20. So everybody have a good day. Just remember when you're in a rut, listen to the rules, listen to your gut. Find the reasons that got you in the rut. You know them. You know what they are. You know exactly what they are, and you might not want to admit it. But have you a trading plan. Follow good traders. Have great mentors. Have honest traders that are around you. You know, if you're hanging around with a bunch of pumpers, trade that way. At least you know you're trading with a bunch of pumpers. Yeah, the pumpers are people that don't show charts. Pumpers are people that don't give you a reason why they're in the trade. Always check the news. You can always tell if a stock's being pumped. And I trade pumped stocks. Don't take me wrong. I don't call them out. I got to have something behind them. But I will trade them, you know. And a lot of times when I listen to someone call a stock out, or especially on the news, I get a little excited. And that's when I make my big mistakes. You know, I don't wait for the pullback. When I see them a big run in a matter of a minute, I'm not going to chase that stock. I'm going to wait for the pullback. I usually find that in consolidations. Position size. I'm giving you a summary. Position size your trades if you're in a rut. Don't go in big. Start small. And then even start the paper trade if you're in a bad rut for a couple of days, for a week. Slow down. You're going a little bit too fast. Your heart beating a little bit too fast. Be in the now, have a positive mindset, and have a good trading plan. All them little things should help you become a better trader. But I think, the most important is let your gut tell you what you're doing wrong. And it usually tells you, but you just don't want to, and you fall back into it too. You'll make that same mistake. I haven't stopped. I still do the same things that caused me to be in bad trades. I mean, I've limited it down, but hype, that's why I came out a couple weeks ago and talked about irrational exuberance. I've seen people take JMIA and run it all the way up as high as it went, and I'm going, this stock is worthless. It's at $500. Come on, man. It was down at $2 just a little bit ago. I mean, this is outrageous. Crazy. And so, irrational exuberance, and have a little bit more patience. And I think that's it. So I think y'all have a great Valentine's. Do something nice for your sweetie, your mom, or even a sister or somebody. And I'll catch you all on the next lesson for next week. Sorry about the rough start today. I didn't expect that to happen, but it did. And we'll just catch you all later. Have a great day. I love stocks. Always remember, on our website, Miss Vegas has a Twitter account here where she's posting alerts. She's the money flow queen. She's really got good on these breakouts. And you can go in here and check, if you're not in the room, you can check some of our alerts out. That'd be well appreciated. Oh, we've got something in here. And then also on our website, we do have our StockTwit links. You can follow us on here. We'd appreciate that if you did that. I like to get these numbers up. And Miss Vegas also has hers on here. We have a store, and also remember that YouTube, hit that like button, ring that bell. And that's it. We're going to close her down. Have a great day. Enjoy the Sunday. And let's get out of that rut if you're in one. Bye-bye.